Hey everybody, it's Mr. Eason here, and today we're going to be talking about some word problems that might involve multiplication. So we're going to read this first one, and we're going to talk about some different possible strategies you could think of to solve this question. It says, Mr. Eason ate 3/4 a cup of cereal every day for 5 days in a row. How many cups did he eat in all? So as you read this, some people might think about using a repeated addition sentence. There are 3/4 in one day, and we did that for 5 days in a row. So you could do 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4. And we know that our denominator would be 4 because denominator always stays the same when you're adding fractions. And then you add your numerators, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And you come up with 15/4. And then all I would need to do is to turn 15/4 into a mixed number. Some people, there are many strategies for that. You might think about 4/4, and then another 4/4 is 8/4, and then another 4/4 is 12/4, and you have 3 more fourths left. And so that could turn into 3 and 3/4. You might also draw a model, and you're going to need a few different sets of wholes split into fourths. And so all we do now is we just shade in 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Altogether, that's 15 pieces. All I did was I just colored in each set of 3 with a different color. I used 5 colors. There's 5 sets of 3/4. And then I can count them up, and I end up with a hole here, a hole here, a hole here, and 3/4. Okay? And that's all fine and dandy if you are thinking about this as a repeated addition question. I would recommend instead we think about multiplication, because multiplication was invented for this reason. So we don't have to repeatedly add numbers. No one wants to do 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. We could instead do 5 times 3, and that makes it a little easier. So instead of writing this as a repeated addition sentence, we're going to write it as a multiplication sentence. 3/4 times 5. We get the 3/4 from the word problem. We know it's 5 days in a row, which is why we chose times 5. And then we think about what 3/4 times 5 is. All you really need to think about is 3 times 5. We are doing 3/4 5 times, so you're adding 3 times 5. Some people may even write it as 3 times 5 with a denominator of 4. 3 times 5 is 15. Fourths, because we keep our denominator. And now, as you can see, we have the same 15/4 here and there. It's the same thing. So now we can do the 15/4, whatever we want to choose. We can choose however we want to turn that into a mixed number. I choose to think about 4 going into 15 3 times with 3 leftovers. But any of those other strategies will work. Let's look at a couple of other examples not using repeated addition and only using multiplication. 4 times 1/3. I know that 4 times 1/3 I can think of as 4 times 1 with a denominator of 3. 4 times 1 is 4. Denominator of 3, 4/3. And I turn 4/3 into a mixed number. I'm going to draw it out just in case. We'll do 1/3. There's 2 sets of 1/3, 3 sets of 1/3, 4 sets of 1/3, and we have 1 and 1/3. So that is our answer to 4 times 1/3. We'll look at more example. 7 times 3/5. It's a little bit bigger of a one, and that's okay. I'm going to think about 7 times 3. And I'm going to keep my denominator of 5. 7 times 3 is 21. 5 as my denominator, and I turn 21/5 into a mixed number. This is where, if you can think of division, it would be very helpful. 21 divided by 5. If you can't, by all means, draw yourself some boxes of 5. It doesn't take all that long, and since we are using a model to do that, it's okay if your model isn't exactly perfect. There's 15, or getting ready to be 15. Make another one for 20. Then make another one, because I need an extra one to make that last piece. All right, so I'm gonna use shading, and I'm gonna try to do the color thing again. One set of 3/5. Two sets of 3/5. Three sets of 3/5. Four sets of 3/5. 5 sets of 3/5. I got to go back to some repeated colors. 6 sets of 3/5. I'm going to use blue just for fun. 7 sets of 3/5. And I go back and I say that's 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1/5. So I get 4 and 1/5 as an answer to 7 times 3/5. So there isn't a whole lot to multiplying whole numbers and fractions. The hardest part, again, is to turn that mixed number the improper fraction back into a mixed number, which is why we spent so much time on it in class a couple of weeks ago, because it happens to come up a lot when you're adding or multiplying with fractions. This has been Mr. Easton with homework help on multiplying whole numbers and fractions. Good luck, and I'll see you next time.